Pair of tire levers. These are just hard plastic. They're made out of nylon. I think they might be $4 or $5 at your bike shop. These will fit nicely in your bike bag. Some people like to use CO2 just because it's light and it's convenient to carry. This is a manual CO2 pump. CO2 cartridges, this one was $3.50 at Bike Country. I think the nozzle was about $8. But this just screws on. You screw it on tight enough to puncture the canister, and then as you put this on your valve stem, you slowly release this and the air will come out and fill up your tire. So CO2, again, it's light, small, compact, fits in your bike CO2. And then this is the small mini pump, which will fit, in a bike bag or on your bike somewhere. A spare tube. They come in a box. If you leave it in the box, it also fits nice in your bike bag. But that's what is what you're used to on a car tire. And then there's what's called the Presta valve, which is a smaller valve stem on some of the smaller tires. Somebody have a question?
Road bike.
Road bikes, yep. Presta valves. Presta and Schrader. So when you're buying tubes, know which one you have so you don't get the wrong one and be stuck. That's the one I'm actually going to change, but real quick, I just want to show you. Most of your bikes are going to have a quick release on the front of these. You just push that down and then you unscrew it just far enough to get the wheel out. You'll have a quick release on your brake caliper up here. Loosen that up and your tire pops right out. It's easier to get the tire in and out if you have your chain on the smallest gear. So I got a quick release on the back. Undo that, unscrew it, release my brake caliper, and then this is going to drop straight down like that. Now, what do you do with this big chain thing? How are you going to get that out there without getting all greasy? If you grab your derailleur right here and just push that down, the chain will actually come right off of there, and then you can pull your wheel out. So I got the wheel off without even touching my chain or getting dirty. I'm going to kind of go around the wheel, wiggle my tire loose, kind of break the bead from the tire away from the rim. Just kind of go around, give it a good wiggle. Just make it a little bit easier, get it off for you. And you want to start opposite your valve stem. So wherever your valve stem is, you want to start on the opposite end. So I'm going to start up here and take the hook end of your tire lever and just kind of sandwich that in between your rim and your tire. Grab a hold of the bottom edge of that tire bead with that hook. Everybody got that? You have a little notch that actually will lock in around your spoke. So you can kind of put a lever in there and get it in place. Take the hook end, get it in there next to that first lever under the tire, and then you just pull it towards you. Go all the way around until that bead is completely off the rim.
Grabbing the tube.
Grabbing the tube. And pull it out.
Blow air back in the tube.
Well,
the new tube.
Actually, I want to see if I can find a hole in the tube. Do I have a piece of glass? Do I have a tack somewhere in my tire I don't know about? So real quick, I want to try to figure out where the hole is. And pay attention to where your valve stem is. Go back to that hole in the wheel. Say I have a hole about right here. Kind of line that tube up with your tire. Go feel around in there, see if there's anything sharp. Look on the outside of the tire. You also want to look around your tire, make sure there's no cracks or anything. Especially when we're done pumping it up, we'll look at that again, make sure there's no pieces of tube like bulging out from the tire.
Putting the tube back in, you start with the valve stem and put it back into the hole.
Such as so.
Voila.
Alright, then we're going to go around and we're going to stuff the tube back inside the tire.
Tube stuffing.
Stuff in the tube. Make sure you get it in between the rim of your wheel and the rim.
Make sure your valve
stem if I twist my tire, you can see how that kind of slides around. I always like to get that straight up and down. It makes filling your tires up that much easier. All right, so that's that. Over the top edge of your rim.
And then start pressing the tire bead back over the rim.
And that's pretty easy until you get to the end. Right here. And then when you get to the end, there's a couple of things you can do. You can use the top part of your palms, this padded part of your palms, grip the tire right there, and slip that right over the top of the edge of your wheel, just like that. That's one way you can do it. Look at both sides, make sure it's seated the way it's supposed to be, and we're done.
Pump it up, tighten up the valve stem, and let's put it back on the bike.
Opposite of how we did this. Push this down, drape the top of your chain over that smallest cog, Give it a little wiggle. I'm hung on my brakes. There. I'm in. Tighten your skewer back up. Tighten your release on your brake. Give it a spin, make sure it's not revving like it is.